What's up everybody, Adrian here, and I got another writing tip for you. How to write a sequel that's even better than the first movie. Let's say you're writing your first movie script or your first novel. You have all the time in the world. Nobody's rushing you, there's no time limit, there's no deadline, and you could really focus on every little detail, develop every little character, figure out every little nuance, and really write the best masterpiece you could ever write. Then you finish it. Then you sell it, people like it, maybe if you're lucky enough, it gets turned into a movie and you get some recognition. Now, some movie studio or some publishing company comes along and says, hey, we want a sequel to this movie, or we want another book. Oh, and by the way, we need it in 6 months. And now you're screwed because the first book or movie took you years to write, and now you don't know what to do. It's kind of like how music bands, before they hit it big and they're underground, they spent years writing their album, perfecting every song. Then they hit it big, and now the record company's like, you're a hit, guys. Give us another album in less than a year to 6 months. And then the second album flops, or it's definitely not as good because they're under all this pressure. So here's my solution. From now on, whenever you start a movie or a novel, write a super long, extended director's cut movie or novel. And once you're done writing, you edit it, you cut it down, you'll have your first movie, and all the extra stuff left over, that'll be your second movie. You can go back and add on to it, fix it up, make it better, but at least you'll have some form of direction of where the sequel will go. You won't start from scratch. You'll still be under a lot of pressure, but at least you'll have something. You'll have a starting point. When you're writing the first movie, write it as a 2-part movie. Maybe it doesn't need a sequel. Maybe it's perfect as standalone. But just in case you need it, you'll have it. Always keep in mind where the next story can go. How would you continue it if you were forced to? Let me give you some great examples where this worked. With Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, he wrote one long movie, and originally it was supposed to be like 4+ hours, and he was gonna release it as one gigantic long movie. But no one was gonna sit through that. It wasn't gonna have too many run times. It wasn't gonna make that much money. So he broke it up into volumes. You could try doing that with your novel or movie. How about Terminator 1 and 2? Originally, James Cameron wanted to have the T-1000 liquid metal guy in his first movie. But back then, the technology wasn't quite there. It wasn't advanced enough. So he put it off. And he just wrote what we all know as the Terminator with the T-800 and Kyle Reese. But he had the sequel in his back pocket. So when the technology and CGI caught up with him, he pulled out the sequel and we got the liquid metal T-1000. Another great example is Superman 1 and 2 with the Donner cut. If you remember in the first movie, there's some pieces left over from the sequel with General Zod and his 2 goons. They're getting put in jail in that class thing and they're getting shot off into space. That was originally supposed to be part of the first movie, but it was too long or it just didn't make any sense, so they cut it out. But he saved it for the second movie, and those characters were introduced in the sequel. So in conclusion, don't just focus all your time and resources and all the great ideas on your first movie or novel. That should be applied to the sequel or to the trilogy by writing a super long extended cut. Plus the movies will feel and be more cohesive as opposed to just 3 different movies in the same trilogy, or the first movie and its sequel that almost look like 2 different movies squeezed together without having any connection. So that's another good reason why you should try this tip. So thanks for listening. Until next time, see you next video.